Rain-fed agriculture is what most farmers across the country rely on to water their crops. And so with every drop of rain comes a sense of security that the food planted in the farms will do well, leading to a bumper harvest. But what happens when the rain comes and instead sweeps away the soils from the farm as water tries to find its path? Such are the adverse effects that can occur: large furrows that run deep. And usually, this leaves the rest of the farm depleted of nutrients, where the result is such kind of crops on a farm that would otherwise produce better if well managed.
It causes leaching, where you find the nutrients in the soil is washed away. It creates furrows, deep furrows, which cannot be used for either crops or livestock keeping.
The question, however, is not whether farmers can control soil erosion, it is whether they can control it effectively without incurring extra costs. Does it necessarily mean building gabions? In this farm, for example, the intensity of soil erosion is very high. However, there are no gabions in sight, and instead, we see other crops planted along the furrows besides the main crop, which is maize.
When the soil erosion is controlled, both the main crop also benefits, because it suffers less loss of nutrients as opposed to not doing it at all. And also at the same time, when you put a food crop like this, you're also earning something from it. So it's not wasted space as it would be.
Food crops that can be used in the control of soil erosion are mainly tubers such as sweet potatoes, arrowroots, yams, cassava, or bananas. And if you do not want to use food crops, then you can use napier grass.
We demarcated the farm into blocks, several blocks, depending on the gradient and the terrain. So where we find that it's too steep and we need to control the flow of water, we have either done a terrace or planted napier grass like here.
The whole idea is to reduce the water running off with the soil. So when you have this kind of plantation, which cover the soil, so that when it rains, then you don't have a problem of running water, then it will work.
Soil erosion is caused by a number of factors, including overstocking and overgrazing, inappropriate farming techniques such as deep plowing land 2 or 3 times a year, planting the same crop year in, year out, and planting crops down the contour instead of across it.
The same logic with cassavas. These are also tubers, so as they form their potatoes, they also help compact the soil a little bit and reduce the surface runoff. So we planted them in small blocks. That way it also acts as a speed bump for water if it was to just run.
We are restoring some of the areas, especially up the mountains, like at Suswa. And also we are looking for alternatives ways, especially for firewood. And asking the farmers, especially with large tracts of land, to be aware of issues of soil erosion.
In this farm, among the crops used to control soil erosion, the napier grass brings in about 10,000 shillings per month when sold to dairy farmers, and sweet potatoes from this one stretch brings in about 18,000 shillings. This means that the farmer gets extra money through soil erosion control.
Don't just decide on a particular method also on your own. It's good to consult, engage an agronomist, the extension service providers, talk to them. They will advise you on what works for your area. You can't just go and grow bananas on your drainage line because you saw it somewhere else, or you can't go and do napier grass. Do you have market for what you're growing? Why do you want to grow food on that space?
Killing 2 birds with 1 stone is what using food crops to control soil erosion is all about. At the end of the day, you keep the nutrients for the main crop while at the same time getting food from the soil erosion control crop. Win-win situation. Ruth Mutegi for Farm Talk in Kiminini, Kitale.